Hmm. Welcome, welcome. Um, hey, Panelo. What's up, Mario? We meet again, brother. How are you doing today? Let's get the people in here. Where everybody at? Where everybody at? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Wow. I'm great, brother. I've been doing it's been a very busy day in between running from here to the business and back. It was crazy. Um, yeah, the staff got really busy today. Um, See, this is Mario. See the good thing about what we've been doing here in the channel. Remember when I was saying um, I needed those certain levels, two things where two straight, sessions of 30% plus happening, so that we won't go through this. So there's good and there's bad into what's happening today. What's happening today is that at least we're trying to fight that $20 level, which is what I've been saying. We needed that 21 so we can make sure that that $20 level is in the bag. And from the looks of it, obviously looks very shaky. It's not even our support for the night for today. Um, our support lies at 1 second, please. Our support is right at, well, this can be correct. 1 second. Yeah. So our support is around 19. Yeah, 1953. So around 1953, that's where our support is, and that's not enough for us from as far as look just on the day for AMC. Um, hey, how's it going, Radwan? Um, Halabik. Um, what's up, Ham? Here we go. Um, yes, we're getting almost everybody in at the same time. If you guys are paying attention also to Tilray and Sundial making monstrous runs, um, and I think we have something to talk about as far as what is going on with the like again, we still didn't talk about what to expect for AMC this week. There's, like I said, there's good and there's bad that we're going to talk about. The bad, a little bit of it, I was just talking about right now, which is the support levels is very shaky for us. um, and it's not looking good. Like, I know I've seen some channels talking about, Max Payne and stuff like that, and it pains me to say or to see that, majority of the people, or some of those channels, don't even have a clue on what it is or what is being talked about. So we're gonna discuss some of that in here just in a bit. I'm waiting on IMPP, buddy. Got a great 189 average and 900 shares, 16 calls, $3 calls. Very good chance for it. I mean, the trend is coming back your way, Ham. Remember, I did say that those will be stocks that are gonna keep, pumping and dumping, and you're gonna, if you keep catching the trend correctly, you're gonna keep making money off of that, because it is like only going to get worse as far as for natural resources, whether oil or precious metals market. It's going to constantly keep going back and forth for it. So therefore, you're in the clear with that. No, not financial advice, but just hopefully that your calls are not, you know, on a weekly base. Hopefully they're further far out. Let's see. So bbig is holding its level great. I like that. Um, yeah, so you guys seeing the trend today. The good thing, like of what you just seen today, is look at sundial and tlry and ACB if you're any of those, by the way. Um, what's the significance of the $22 price of AMC? Oh, I will tell you, Radwan. Um, okay. Yeah, 100. Han, thank you. So here's the thing. As you, what I believe is happening, guys, with if you pay attention to these patterns, there's a lot of good that we can find out from this. Yes, the price is not moving the way that we want it today, right? But as far as what we can tell, for me personally, I see a lot of pattern in the the trend of itself of where it's moving to. So most of the time, you've seen the trend go from like first it started with AMC, sorry, with BBIG, moving in the pre-market of 23, 24 cents percent just a few days ago. Okay. Then the very next day, you've seen AMC, GameStop really rip in a way, and for two straight sessions, but it looked very managed. And that's what I was afraid of. And that's what I was trying to get to everybody to understand, that the reasoning behind having those two straight sessions of 30% plus is to try to avoid this very same place that we're in right now, which is needing that $20 level so badly. And it looks very shaky, obviously, from this point. I mean, we are above the 20, but we still have, until 4, and we have till tomorrow. So they could easily attack us if we close around this level. It's an easy attack tomorrow before they can drop us underneath that 20 to end the week on a win for them, of course, on the option chain. Now, which goes right into, like, before we go into that, Radwan, I'm jumping to that. The thing is, we see the trend now. It's completely jumping into the marijuana sector at the whole like everything you see right now. I'm looking at 15, 16% in Tilray, 19% in Sundial. I'm seeing what was it in ACB? ACB was 9%. And here's the thing. What you want to pay attention to here is the fact that Sundial has a earnings report due the 29th, which is next week, right? And you can learn from this, guys. If you pay attention, normally those spikes and jumps, like traditionally before, the market used to anticipate that on the day of the earning, you would have some sort of crazy move. But now, with the existence of us, with us coming to the party, like the retail investors, they changed it up a little bit. Now you see moves happen a little bit before the release of the earnings. You would have it as, for example, a week ahead or 2 weeks ahead. There'll be a weird move that comes out of nowhere. As you know, there's no news on that. And then when the week of the earnings come out and the earnings come out, that's when it drops. And you ask yourself, like, if it's a meme stock, normally this is happening with, well, how come? Even if the report was good, why is it going down? Well, it's because all the investing in it ahead of time happened ahead of time. And now people are not waiting, especially when it comes to a meme stock, until the day of the earnings. They do all the play way before. So on the day of, when everybody's anticipating it, especially retail, it'll be nothing more than just a trap that has already been laid out from a week or two ahead. You jump in, you get captured. That's something that I just wanted you guys to pay attention to and learn, because it happens a lot. I've seen the significance and the pattern of that happening. Let's see. Hey, didn't net. Yes, I'm glad I'm back on. I was literally driving like crazy from the restaurant all the way to here, and it was just crazy to try to get here. Pabloco, what's up, brother? I'm okay with it taking its time. Transfer my position to a broker that offers pre and post. Okay, good job. That's very good. Hopefully it takes its time for you, brother. But as you guys see, there's a surge in throughout the whole marijuana sector. So nothing is too, crazy with us, but that's why we needed. Now you see the significance of why we needed those two straight 30+% days. That's what I want. That's how I can label something a beginning of squeeze or not. And you can see now I've been cautious. Good thing if I don't have that mindset, or if I didn't have that theory, I would have been one of the crowd that YOLO'd long time ago, whether at the $18 or $19 level, or especially if I'm looking to play any calls or options, I would have got in and I would have gotten. So far, it looks very, very, very shaky, and I would not obviously want to be in a position only with 1 day left. At this point, if you're playing options and you're playing the weekly, and let's say, for example, you played the $20 strike price, you're already losing, and you're about 90% already going to lose that money on the week. And the reason why you guys probably are asking, because I know Redwan even asked me in the comment section, options are still like, a thing that you still trying to polish up on. And here's the thing, as I told you, options are the quickest way to getting rich or to become homeless, guys. Given if you have the wrong mindset of, let's say it got great with you, or you got lucky with one play, or you got one correctly. The thing is, it becomes a habit, and regular gains become so uninteresting to you. This happened with me, guys. I'm speaking based on experience, not just like, somebody else's words. When I first got into options and I was thriving in it, like the first time I invested about $400-500, and it came back, the return was like $3,000, 3,300. Was mind-blowing to me. So it was so good to the point where regular stock investing became uninteresting to me. So I started doing nothing but options, and that was back at that time. And eventually you get burned when you dance around the fire for a long time. You get burned because you obviously no one is Mr. Know-it-all, does it all at all times, no matter who it is. No matter who it is. Even Nancy Pelosi can't get 100%. You guys get the inside joke there. So, which brings me ultimately to the point where options, you always, when you see people, even on Reddit, I will even break it down more for you guys. On Reddit, you'll see a lot of people posting their position, and they'll say, this is the way, or is this the way? They'll have stocks and they'll have options. And that's a little more understanding, and that's more safe, because your options should not be more than 15% of your portfolio at all times. This is what even financial advisors would tell you, so like not just coming from me, even though I'm obviously not a financial advisor, but options should not be 15% more of your portfolio in general. And if you have 16, 17, 18%, then you're in a risky, they'll consider your portfolio a risky position. So therefore you don't want to be in that. So if you don't know much about options, you'll have to stay away from them until you completely understand what is going on with them. Now, let's jump straight to what we were going to talk about as far as the good and the bad. What's up, Peter Jefferson? They are suppressing this bad. Yes, of course, brother. They are. Nancy's the greatest trader of our time. Yep, a lifetime, and the greatest trader of all time, probably. But even then, she's still not 100%. I think she's 140%. So here's the thing. We have we're at 2020 right now, and here's the thing, guys. The good thing and the bad thing. The good thing is that Thursday normally is the worst day normally for us, because you have like markets, like, or brokers, or whenever they want to do most of their attacks, they normally do it on Thursday. Why? Because Friday is the last day of the week. They don't want to leave, a price to deal with. Like, they don't want to deal with a problem on a price on a Friday, because normally Friday they leave it open so that they can start loading up positions for the following week. It's not a day that they normally want to come in the office and start attacking, laying on attacks left and right to try to get a price underneath an option strike price so that they don't get screwed on the option chain. Normally Friday is their loading zone because they would have already secured the levels that they wanted to secure at an early point, and therefore Friday will just be an easy day coming to the office sometime, most of the times, and just giving you like a typical day in their lives of these guys. On Friday it's like normally talks, meetings, getting ready for the weekend, preparing what they're going to go out for, and what they're going to drink on and what they're going to celebrate, and what that's basically the day that Friday is. It's not the typical Friday that most people have at their typical jobs, where it's normally busy day in the company or any of that. But in Wall Street is different. These guys, Friday is like their kind of last, like kind of, oh, I can't believe we're going into work, before they go out on Saturdays and that Friday night. So they don't normally have a lot of attacks on Fridays. So that's the good news for us, is that most of their pain is coming in today. The bad news is, as you can see, they have been able to keep us underneath these levels. Like suddenly yesterday we have 176 million in volume. Today we're barely, not even where are we at? Like we're not even breaking the around 60 million. You see what I'm saying? And that's the crazy part. And now you suddenly see a surge throughout the whole marijuana sector, just about. I did, guys, tell you a lot, especially yesterday and the day before that on tlry. I do have a position I do have a big position in sundial. It is amazing how they have these trends between stock sectors that they're jumping from one to another. And it almost feels like they're trying to raise up the levels of the stocks, especially the meme stocks, little by little. If that makes any sense. If you saw when bbig a couple of days ago ripped on no news or nothing, it is still hovering around that same area that it jumped to. Like it didn't fall crazy after it lost its trend. And then same thing with AMC and GameStop. You see today they lost their trends, but what are they doing? They're consolidating almost around the same area. They're not falling really hard. Now we see a rise in the marijuana sector. And now I'm going to be interested in seeing if Sundial and tlry tomorrow hold their own, if they're going to stay around that area, the 72 cents, the 70 cents, tlry for the $6.50, $6.60. If that checks out, then at least by next week we do know one extra thing. This is why I told you guys I pay attention to everything throughout the market, all kind of moves, whether it's directly AMC or not. It all is, at the end of the day, all roads lead to Rome. So you got to keep that mindset to become a successful trader. And looking at this, if this does check out what we're just talking about, that means it's simple to know that from now on, they are doing it sector by sector, and it's going to be nothing but a trend line moving from one community to another community. And that's what we're basically paying attention to. That's what I'm paying attention to. Now, like I said, AMC, now you see it to the test, and now you see the results. When I said we needed 2 straight 30% plus days or sessions at least, or one and then one in between, and then the second one we get another 30%. That is the main reason why you see that. It's because when the stock goes up 60% at least back-to-back days, it is going to be damn near impossible for them to drop us a full or hedge us for about $4 to $5. That's in one day, especially on the last day that they basically come into work not trying to do anything. They're just trying to get ready for, they just showed up to get paid so they can go out later on at night. I mean, this is the life of Wall Street, guys. And we didn't get exactly what I was telling you. We hovered the first day, we were around almost 15%. Then in the after hours in the pre-market, we gained another 15%, which gives us that first initial 30. Then after that, we seen what, another 8-9% move in the aftermarket, then we seen it go away. And today here we are. We didn't really get to those levels that I was talking about. And that's why I said I'm always on the side until I see those levels or those two things happen. That's when I will know. That's my personal indication into knowing that this is the beginning of the squeeze. That's why I didn't want to label it the squeeze from the get-go. It's because we didn't see those levels. Now, here's the thing. We also did talk about the good guys. The fact that we're still, even with their maximum powers and all that stuff, even though that we're still hovering around 230 to $20.30, and there's about 15 minutes left, if we can manage to break this up to about at least the 2080, 2090, then tomorrow's job will be a whole lot easier, because all we have to do is just maintain that $21 level. Like I said, everybody who's holding $20 strike price options right now, even though the price is above 20, they are all still losing all their money, because you still have to have a break even from the value of your contract. So the break even for this, if you got the $20 one, most likely odds are that your break even is anywhere between 20 and 69 cents all the way to 2091. So I'm just giving you like the levels of where, if you got in any $20 strike prices, what you need the price to be above, so in order for you just to break even and get your money back. That's why I say that until this point, everybody with the $20 strike price and moving on up are all are all in the loss right now. They're most likely losing 99% of their earnings. Now, as we can see, sndl is on a really huge swing right now. It's moving strong. tlry, very gladly to see it move up 20% almost as well. Everyone is sleeping on that. I did mention that many times. So tell me, guys, what do you have questions for? Because once I talk about Max Payne theory, it's gonna be crazy. So we'll see. Let's see. We have. They are. Peter said they are preparing their will as the death of a lot of hedge funds are imminent. Yes, of course they are imminent. They are on the clock. About 90 days left to live. Very, very valid. I can see a lot of truth to that. And Pabloco, the criminalization bill coming Monday, reported by Unusual Whales. See, I've been telling you guys, like, and that's not verifying that is true. Unusual Whales is a very good source normally to tell you about option plays and like who's taking a big position in something. I follow them and I see some of the things they report, but that doesn't mean it's going to be verified 100% what they report. But I've been already giving you guys an educated decision on, or a guess on, why the government will decriminalize marijuana in the foreseeable future. And I made a very, very good case, and it's only one case. There's nothing else to it. There is a lot of loss in money. The government needs money. The government is heading in crazy times. Inflation is crazy. Loss of money. A lot of corruption left and right. They need money. How can they get money? They could easily decriminalize something that the whole nation is kind of, I want to say, like at least majority of the nation is on the agreeing path for it. And basically all they have to do is decriminalize the marijuana, because when they do so, they can go ahead and tax it. And once they tax it, they make billions of dollars on a yearly base, if not trillions of dollars on that industry, because again, it's just still not regulated. Once they do so, then sky's the limit, and they have no option but to do it. I've actually been saying this for almost a year now, that we are on that path, and the reason for it is because of what's coming from the big market crash. So when the market crashes, you're going to see that regardless. So whether it's tomorrow or whether it's Monday, whether it's a couple months from now, that stuff is coming. I mean, come on, for the most part, even if you're not in the stock market, you can also see it, because almost every state is going legal on it now, in almost every region. So therefore, what's left? It's just to legalize it nationwide and make a lot of money off of it. That's what they care about. Which one is better, SNDL or tlry? Now, fundamentally, tlry is better night and day because it is the biggest marijuana distributor in the world, not just in Canada or in the US, but in the world, because they have like months ago they purchased a company called Afaria, and by doing so, by having them within, digesting them, they became the biggest distributor or basically company of marijuana in the world. And at these prices, you're looking basically at, and again, I'm not advising anybody to invest in something or go and do something. I'm not a financial advisor, guys, but these are the prices of something before it gets discovered, because once it goes decriminalized completely, um, it's crazy because all these companies don't have access to the U.S. market, and it's the most important market in the world. They have a lot of ties in Europe. They have a lot of business in the Middle East and some regions. They have a lot of business in Asia and some regions. Sundial, of course, from a price point, look where they're at, and they have a lot. Like, okay, so they have the biggest potential is Sundial. The best company is tlry at this point, because tlry is, like I said, all the good things about it, but Sundial has been recently working on getting itself up. The only fear or risk with Sundial is the fact that it has 180 days to prove that its ticker symbol can be above $1 so that they don't get delisted from the NASDAQ. And they won't get delisted as far as like go to zero. They will just go to another trading market. But I don't think that's the case, because soon we're going to have something huge within those 180 days that will make that ticker symbol go to where it needs to go so that it can stay relevant. I personally think that's just a personal opinion, guys, not advice. But yeah, so it's right there in front of all of us. I don't know what you purchased, Dinette. 50 shares of what? But hopefully you make a killing on both of them. I mean, you guys remember I've been talking about tlry like what for a few sessions now, at least airing it to you guys, and I'm so proud of you guys in here in this group, because I've seen it in many other communities, a majority of the communities. If you're not talking about AMC only, or if it's a GME channel, if you're not only talking about GME only, then we don't want to hear it. And that's the crazy part to me, is that this is a stock market. It's not AMC market or GME market. And again, as much as I have in both of them, the ultimate reason of why any of you or us are in this market is to make money, not because AMC made me come here or GME made me come here. No, this happens to be in the world of the games that I like to play. And what I see AMC and GameStop or tlry or koss or Sundial or any of these companies, I see them as plays in within the game, players within the game, and I'm playing them. That's it. So that's the way I look at things. So if you're following this channel, guys, that's what you're gonna expect, is for me to bring you on a well-rounded table round talk of the whole spectrum, not just one or two things, and keep you in the dark from the rest of the market. So when these two things end, what are you going to talk about? What are people going to talk about? Those AMC and GameStop exclusively channels, what are they going to talk about? Are they going to just jump ship and go and start talking about Neo? Are they going to start talking about Amazon or Tesla? See, that's the thing. So you have to have your full on education from now, so when it's time to prepare, like when it's time to graduate from these stocks, from the meme stocks, you're ready for the big leagues and for the big world, which means you're ready to swim on your own and do what you want. And just us coming back around, I'm trying to grow this channel so that we can even have more and more people bringing in more intel, and then at that point we're all educating ourselves through the feed. And who knows, maybe we will make something in where we all can communicate through, but this is great enough so that we can talk about plays left and right. I mean, again, the marijuana sector is thoroughly flying. Let's see, what do we have here? Won't decriminalization allow people to grow at home and other avenues that don't require storefronts? Here's the thing. When they decriminalize it, brother, I'm pretty sure they're gonna address some of those issues. They will have, like, they're not gonna just leave some loose ends. And you make great points. But I know personally myself, I know a lot of people. In fact, I have a Ukrainian friend, and I won't bring it up, here out in the Midwest, who actually grows that already in their backyard, preparing for those days. Like, this person is not only, invested in the stock market into these stocks, but this person is already investing in his own backyard, on making these things. If he gets captured now, I guess, or somebody puts out a tip on the person, he's in big trouble. Obviously, especially being in the Ohio region. But down the line, he's betting fully, like he's going all in on that. So that's how, as far as it goes, Israel. I hope we have a free market by then. Yes, no, we will, Danette. We will have everything ready to operate, because we're gonna have a blockchain effect that will basically make everything go T1 or T0 by then, hopefully. And everything that is created, every stock is created or that is passed on the chain, on the chain link, it's going to be tracked, and no market maker can come and, for example, recreate something different or go back to a reservoir of the DTCC to grab the same share over again and utilize it again, and then right back into the reservoir and pick up again, and then do this, the same cycle over and over again. That can happen on blockchain. So I doubt that any of that will be happening. So what else? Who has any questions, guys? Let's talk about it before we talk about the Max Payne theory. Okay, no questions. Good. I wonder where everybody else is at. I think everybody else is probably at different feeds or different lives. So here's the thing, guys, with the Max Payne. Every channel has almost been pushing or talking about Max Payne, and it's been like a weird Max Payne theories that they're putting out. Some of them don't even know what they're talking about, with all the respect, and some of them know what they're talking about. It's just they lack the background experience of being in the market for a long time. They're just looking at it from the eyes or from the lens of a person who's been in the market for just months or max a year. And that's normal. That's nothing wrong with it. Obviously, not everyone can start at the same time with everyone else. Now, here's the thing. I said this many times before. Experience speaks much louder than anything you can learn by book or from someone else. Because again, once you experience it yourself, it's a learning experience that you will never overtribe by any other means. Now, the Max Payne, I've seen some channels talk about, $15 is the Max Payne and $16 is Max Payne. So let's look at AMC right here real quick. And what is the time as we speak? It's almost 4 o'clock. It's good that we're at least above the 20. Okay. AMC now. Options. So as far as open interest, I see that obviously the $20 level is the most important level. After that, it is followed by the $22 level. And the 21 is almost in the same boat, but 22 is right after the 20. So you got 20, 22, 19, 21. So those all in the same place or following each other. And then the rest after that will be like 23, 24. They kind of go on. And same thing for 18 is very important. 19 is somewhat important. But if we are to rip them apart next week, guys, we need to have at least from all the way from the 17 and a half, we need to have that all the way to 1 second. Let's say from the 17 and a half all the way up to 20 and a half or 21 if possible. If we were to at least have those, then next week we are going to be ripping them apart. Nothing similar to even this week's 15% and all that. What happened this week is going to be like very, very, very laughable, or it's going to be very small compared to what will be next week if we close above the 21 tomorrow. And I believe we have a very, very, very good chance, guys, because again, these guys do not come on Fridays expecting to do heavy short lifting and and heavy short covering and all that stuff. Friday is their, as I said before, Friday is their loading zone for the following week. They make their money, they already do all their crazy work on Thursday. Friday is just about preparing for the next week, take light positions into plays and go from there. Um, but if they leave this like this and it closes obviously above the 20, we have a very, very, very good chance for that to happen. Now, another theory that is being talked about wrong about Max Payne theory and all that stuff is people don't understand, excuse me, some channels don't understand when does hedge funds or the market maker have to hedge for options when they get it. So let me break this down for you guys. Normally, when you get stock like option, let's say the strike option right now is at around the 20. So the $20 range is within the money, right? So when let's say it's the beginning of the week, when those are all purchased at the 15, let's say the price started at 15, right? So anybody who's purchasing strike prices around 15, 16, and at least 17, majority of the times, the market maker will already hedge for those positions via synthetics so that they don't affect the price, at least for now. But then they will really purchase them as they go into the money over the weekend. And that's why you have that extra day of Monday where you don't see nothing, but then Tuesday you had the run. So normally they are already hedged for as their purchase. They don't wait until they go already in the money and the end of the week is here and then it ends in the money. They don't wait until then. They hedge much earlier than that, sooner than that. Otherwise, they could short squeeze themselves if they don't hedge for it earlier, and then a lot of them go in the money. It will be a nightmare, and that's how you form the gamma ramp. The gamma ramp goes in because you, in a way, are forcing the market maker to purchase again and hedge for stocks of those for those calls in case or in the worry effort of them going in the money. So that's what they're worried about. A lot of channels are saying other stuff that makes no sense, which is that, oh, after the end of the day, that's when they will hedge. That does not work that way. Again, that's just, me clarifying that part of the equation. Now, the second part of the equation, some are saying 14 or 15 or 16 is our max Payne level and all that stuff. And that's just simply not also correct, because 16 or the upper 15 is where we took off from with all those gains. The fact that they will be able to drop us back down to 1550 is like saying that the amount of money that was made from Monday till today from the retail or other players who made money on these two surges, on those two sessions, all that the market maker has to come up with on their own and almost double it so that they can drop us back to 15 on their own, which is not feasible. They will not do it. When someone says that Max Payne or our bottom is 15, that's because they're trying to be correct on what they're saying. So they're giving you a big gap, which is kind of like a no-brainer at this point, giving you a big gap of like, okay, 15 all the way to 20. That's not somebody who's giving you, some sort of accurate numbers, and no one can in the market, but at least a rough estimate has to be extremely close. You see what I'm saying? So 15 to 20, that is not a Max Payne theory to far out, whatever our advantage can be, or in the 20 or 21 or 22. So max pain for us, if they were to do it, I stand by my theory, and that is today. This is why you've seen him drop us from the $22 range that we surged to, or we were at in the morning, at the high, and they were able to drop us down to 20. That's two full dollars. Um, it's not easy to do that. It's not just like, oh, let's drop them with a bunch of synthetics. That will show you. Like I can actually even look up the let's do two things we forgot to look at today. The repo, and then we got another thing to look at. I want to look at the dark pool interest for today. Reverse operations for the day. And what's up, Assiduous? Yes, I did miss you all the time, my friend. Oh, okay. So for today, it dropped by a whole it dropped for a full 100 billion. Yeah, and count it. Not only did it drop by 100 billion, it's 1 trillion and 700 billion. Um, so not only did it drop from the 1.8 yesterday to 1.7, it also, yesterday I remember there was 83 counterparties. Today we have 88 counterparties, and that's five more counterparties with 100 billion less. Could it be that um, the Federal Reserve is beginning to step on that easy money policy? If that is the case, whew, watch out for tomorrow and next week, guys. Okay, and let's look at dark pool. AMC. Sorry, guys, but these are important things. And the good thing, that the reason why I'm even doing it like this, and I'm doing it while we are on the live, is because these are some things that you have to do also on your own, guys, as you do in your own trades, because all this will matter a lot into whatever stock you're going to be in. You need to know how much manipulation is going into it, and obviously at all times. Let's see. So, can I find it here? What are, let's see.
Yeah, but come to think of it,
Sorry for the wait, guys. Okay. Wow. So far for today, guys, we have 53%, close to 53% of the AMC shares are being traded off of dark pool. It's so mind-boggling to me, the fact that it's a publicly traded stock and company, and yet majority of its shares are traded privately. Let that sink in. Again, I've always been saying this. Um, I have even data for you where I can see that on the most of the shares are traded not even on Nasdaq. It's on Cboe Edge X, 13%, and then 10% on the Nasdaq, and then another 5 on both NYSE and NYSE Arca. So yeah, there you have it. 53% are in dark pools. So 53%. And can somebody tell me right here what is the volume on AMC for today, now that it's after 4? Please. Anyone? Somebody? AMC volume. 67. So for 67 million, you're talking about, guys, this is crazy, that we have about 33 and almost 34, like if we want to be almost exact, 33 million and 800,000 and 54 or 45,000 stocks. Sorry, I'm just kind of anal about things like that. So anyways, so about 34 million of today's volume went directly through the dark pool. Doesn't that prove to you even furthermore what I've been telling you as far as them prolonging us all this time was through this dark pool stuff. And not only have I told you that it's only through the dark pool, I mean, a lot of people have some sort of clue on why, but how, this was the only place to explain all that to you guys. For the reason why is because they could delay it for all this time. They could reach the Federal Reserve's money so that they can get the money they need to continue to keep this down and fight this. And on top of that, each single person in the equation or in the diagram that I've given you guys, and maybe one day I'll go ahead and draw it on a paper so that I can, just present it like this or put it on a video. At the end of the day, in that diagram, each single party made money. They had a best interest in the situation to do it. The broker was making money. That's why they did payment for order flow, and they participated in this illegal, obviously, activities. The market maker was making a lot of money. That's why he was in on this. The banks, they saw a lot of money. There was in a lot of money for them to speak about this. So therefore, that's why they were in on it. The Federal Reserve, obviously, they're making a lot of money. This is why they had a big part into doing it the way that or agreeing to do what they were, what is happening right now, or for the last year and a half. I just wish that a lot of more people were able to hear this, because then you would approach this whole thing from a completely different mindset. And you would not be on an end of, I got burned today, I'm following such and such YouTube and channel, and we literally all lost on our options or whatnot, because unfortunately the YouTube channel is learning as it goes. Now, I'm not saying that here we know it all, but there are many things that we're polished on in this channel that you're not going to be falling victim to. And most importantly is the gimmick that almost everyone have been falling for this whole year, which is what happened this week. Everybody already expected that it was the squeeze. Still could be, but was telling you we needed those levels on every single day so that we can verify 100% that this was the run indeed, not just any random run to lure people into playing options. Let's see. Sorry guys, let me just look at, okay, wow, it's good to see that tlry, it is holding its own after market as well. Another 4%. Man, this is a good day for me. And sndl, another also 3%. It's holding its own. Whew. AMC is beginning to also rebound. Good thing we closed at 2021, guys. So we'll see what happens by 6 o'clock in the evening today. Okay. Let's see. Axie just says, speaking of monster runs, AB, I think I saw Biden soil himself the other day. The lady behind him had to cover her mouth. No. I don't think, yeah. I don't know if he knew that he was doing it or not. I mean, the guy has a habit of falling asleep, even when he's awake. Sold my sundial today at 63 because I thought it was going to do the same to me as before by dropping to the 40s, and I would buy back in. Nope. 45 minutes later, I watch it jump to 75. Always backfires on me. KJW, brother. Two good things. One good thing about this is at least you made money. Always have the mindset, guys. When you're a trader, you'd rather be happy than sorry. Okay? Think of it like that, because there's nothing worse, and I've tasted that burger before. There's nothing worse than a you just got screwed burger completely on the whole thing. And you're going to think later after that, it's like, man, I had my outs. I should have just been happy with, or not as greedy, and been happy with the turnaround I had. And one of them was, like, this is just an example to you guys. One of them was actually on tlry back when, right after that January of 2021 timeline. It was like around March at some point, March, April. And they had some sort of earnings report. And I was like, so high on the stock, obviously, since then. So besides the stocks that I was holding in it, I wanted to go big on a big position for options. And yet it was making a good amount of money. It was, at some point, it had, I think it was like $8 or $9,000 in the profit. But because I initially myself invested more than 6 in there to make that option position, or to open that option position, I wanted more than 9,000, because when I took 9 and take the 6 initial 6 something out of it, I was like, okay, I'm only making 2 to 3 grand. Was this worth it? Well, of course, when you think about it, yeah, it is worth it. But at the moment of, when you get used to playing options and you see the turnarounds that you can get out of it if you're doing it correctly, 2,000, 3,000 was not as impressive. So I was like, no, you're going to sit in. I saw it jump over to, literally, I saw it jump to 8,000 in profit, which means I've not only doubled the money already, I've doubled and a quarter and a third, actually. But then at that point, because the way that, the stock was moving, very volatile, I was like, you know what, that's it. I'm going to sell at the 10K mark. And little that you know it, this is where the pain comes. It got to 8,600, 86 and some change. And then it started falling. And believe it or not, that particular trade, I got so heated for the way that what happened with it, to the point where I was like, no, I'm holding it till it runs out. I don't give a shit. And yeah, I held it until it was down to 0 after that. See how that feels? So moral of the story is KJW, rather happy than sorry. That's 1. 2, be content, not greedy, because contentment is a treasure not everyone can accommodate or find. So that's a treasure that you just was able to do that. Now I know how you would feel, the stink, looking at it now, also climbing another 6% on top of what it climbed to at the close. You still have, again, remember, if this is supposed to be squeezing just for you, KJW, these are nothing levels. If sundial or tlry was to squeeze, guys, especially sundial, it's not squeezing to 80, 90 cents. If it's indeed the squeeze and it's beginning, you're going to see it retake back the levels of $1.50, $2, and eventually break up to the $3. I have big eyes on it breaking around that $3 to $5 range with ease, depending on how people hold in that squeeze when the squeeze starts. Again, not financial advice, I'm just giving my point. So yeah, you might have gave away some 20 cents right now, but if it's ripe tomorrow and still around these averages, you can always take a small position and see where it leads you from there. And then if you're comfortable to jump back in and you see that it is the real squeeze, it's a no-brainer. So don't feel bad. At least you guaranteed your profits today. What's up, Future Whale? How are you doing, brother? Let's see. Major indexes are running today. Looks like the plunge protection team is working overtime. Yes, they are. Sounds like a free market, right? No, it's not. UVXY at 14 looking extra spicy as well. Exegius, you're very correct. Here's the thing. Like I told you guys, this further proves the idea that Thursday is the craziest day for hedge funds. If they don't tackle your stock, your favorite stock in the beginning of the week, that means you're gonna have some runs, and if they don't tackle it by Monday or Tuesday, then that means you're gonna be tackled down on Thursday, or at least the attempt of tackling you down on Thursday. Friday normally is light day, like light workout day, whether it's just a regular jog for them or whatnot. It is what it is. Like, this is just how they take Fridays. It's not a very, very serious day for them. And that's one thing, and the one and only thing I like about the fact of what went on today with AMC and GameStop, besides all the other bad things. The one and only good thing is the fact that we were able to hold and maintain certain and very important levels. And the fact that, tomorrow being the day that I see it as, again, not any channel will tell you that stuff, guys. Again, you have to be in the market for a while to see that pattern happen. So yes, that's the one and only good thing that I've seen that happen today to AMC and GameStop. Now, keep your eye again on GameStop here. It was the one that poked the major hole in the meme stock movement last week on Friday, and then broke everything this Tuesday. and it's looking like very juicy to continue to do the same thing. It's at 142, and tomorrow I'm gonna make that video like similar to last Friday, speaking about the levels that we need to keep and maintain to what to expect out of next week. And sndl, boy, sndl and tlry, they're just ripping out after hours. I mean, it's very volatile. Come on, Sonny. Come on, Sonny D. I think you can break that dollar before market after market close. Okay, let's see what we have here. Anyone here invested in Russian securities? Moscow Exchange opened up shop today with a healthy uptrend due to 10 billion injection from Putin. Yet our American depository receipts, Virgin, did not move. Yeah, anything. Here's the thing, Axidius. The investing in the Russian stocks is right now like a hit and miss. It's an easy, like the best way to put it is it's a 50-50 shot. Okay. Why do I say this? Because it's either that they come out of this without a World War III, and if they do come out of that with that being said, like no World War III in the making, and somehow they all mend fences, it's only a matter of time before whatever you got into will go back to not only the levels that it was at, but even further beyond that it was at. And right now you're grabbing it at dirt cheap prices. So odds are you're in a 50-50 kind of a Russian roulette kind of game in this situation. What if you were putting all your money on those positions, let's just speak that as a hypothetical example, you're basically playing Russian roulette. It's either that there's a bullet in that next chamber, or you live and you see another day. So it's as easy as you can make so much money on it, or you could lose so much money if obviously it turns into the opposite, and obviously more sanctions happen and more wars happen and they build more enemies. Next thing you know, you're fighting someone who is basically contained within its own walls, and those stocks are only as good as Russian people. That's it, not globally. So that's what it comes down to. It's a 50-50 thing. So don't, I'm not a financial advisor, but I just wouldn't go too heavy on it. But the idea of it being very profitable and it's a hit and miss, it's a nice dice roll. I mean, I'll probably take some positions and, you know, not too much, just a little, just to enjoy the fact that, you know, they run back up. But again, I can make a whole lot more either in these plays that we're in AMC, GameStop, sndl. As you can see, these volatile moves, guys, there's many ways to skin them and make a lot of money off of them. So even if the squeeze is not here yet, that does not mean you can't make money or continue to make profits. Okay, internet, what website do you use for Max Payne? What is the level for GME we need to hold? I need to look at these numbers. I don't use any website, Dinet. I look at my own levels. I look at my own charts and everything. So I come up with that. That's why last week, on last Friday, when I said what I said about AMC and what it's going to be like and what GME last Friday, I said that they're screwed. If you guys remember the paper, still here actually. Remember the numbers and the levels on the stocks. I did mention, again, you guys could track back to that video and read it, or listen to it, sorry, not read it. And you can see that GME, the one and only thing I said about GME in that level was that they're already screwed all over the option chain. So, but the one thing that they could not let it go over was 93.45. And look where we at this week, you know. So I did say that they were already screwed on GME, and yes, it did poke the hole that ultimately led to this AMC and the other positions all flooding through. So I'm looking either to make that list. I would say tomorrow will be a better time, Dinette, unless you guys all have some sort of, you know, options or something relying on that's expiring tomorrow. I would like to make that video tomorrow because I will have much more data to look at and much more things and seeing the trend as well, so that it could be much more clear. But if any of you have any options on the weekly, feel free to ask in the section, and I'll go ahead and at least address it as lawfully as I could. But as far as making that video, I think I'll make it tomorrow. That way you guys can see. Again, I make all that stuff from me, guys. I do not follow any links or channels. I do get inspired by certain individuals and people. And basically those are the people that if I don't know something or I'm not as clear on something, that's what I lead to other channels for. Um, I go. You guys have seen probably. I enjoy my time at the Macedonians page at night, and now even after that, I would go straight to Pantheon's page. The very special individual. I really, really am very, very happy and humbled by the fact of or by the amazing words that the guy shared for me. I've seen his like in his live stream. So the feeling is mutual, brother. If you're watching this, if you're not, obviously, if you see it some other time, the feeling is mutual. Um, but again, I like the way that Pantheon does DD because he literally dives after every detail and does not skip any. And where I know for myself, I want to know so much in so little time that I'm okay with overlooking some certain things in order to get to the ultimate picture, if that makes any sense. But again, no one is know-it-all. I have it all person, So tlry and sndl, interesting, interesting, interesting. I'm very excited because I'm looking at some nice levels to deal with here. Boy, I just want sndl to break that dollar. Guys, just wait to see when tlry breaks out. When tlry breaks out with the fact that it's shorted to oblivion as well. The fact that it's going to break out and perhaps even surpass the 60 and the 70 and the $80 level. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just mentioning this as my personal opinion. You guys are all going to be surprised. You're probably looking at a stock that is $6 right now, and you're going to be like, wow, it's going to run 70, 80, 90 bucks. What is this guy smoking? Well, normally I smoke hookah. Right now, I'm not smoking anything. But it still does not affect my brain. So you'll be surprised. I mean, it did it back in January of 2021. It ran up and it ran up to 64, 67 bucks. That's tlry that we were speaking. And it did not have a Faria on its bandwagon. It didn't have the position that it is in now. It didn't have a much better money standing or a strong financial standing as it does even right now is much better. So it's just a matter of time before these stocks, and wait till decriminalization comes through. It's gonna be mind blowing. Let's see. What's up? Welcome to the chat, EU. By the way, thank you everyone for liking the link, guys, or the video, because it did push it out to more and more people. I see that we have more people now in the chat. Exedius, holy F. GME cost to borrow is at 22%, 15 minutes after market. AMC sitting at 1.4 after market. And that's the crazy thing, right, guys? The fact that what's the sort of difference? Like, why is GME's at 22, but AMC's is at 104? It's like kind of like they're all telling you, like, hey, please go and borrow AMC. We'll give you a much lesser percent, but that's good. It doesn't matter. 22% is a good percentage, and a big part of it have a lot to do with the price that it's at right now. Being at 142.39, I know for a fact without even looking. Before I look at my so on GME, just off the bat right now, before we make the video tomorrow, I know Danette, we say we're going to make it tomorrow for Max Payne and everything. For GME, these guys are, as far as I see it, wow. Yeah. They don't want us to break the $145 level, which is extremely easy to break. But the most important level to them is 140, and we're already above that. So we're almost setting up as in a very similar position to last week at this point last week, where we were at last Thursday. So we will verify that by tomorrow, by next, which is basically the Friday. If we're indeed at the same exam levels or positions, um, watch next week being a much more monstrous week than this week, due to all this activity that we're looking at here. They're going to talk about the Titanic. The crazy thing, guys, is how awesome is it? And I mentioned this in Massalorian's page. Remember when someone, I think it was someone that asked a question about why is there a lot of animosity between the GME crowd and the AMC crowd, and everyone had a different answer. And my answer, one part of it was that a big amount or a big crowd in GME specifically believes that Ryan Cohen is obviously a big difference maker, and the difference between why AMC is in it where it's at and why GME is where it's at. And by the way, guys, when I said that, it's not only because I chose, and it is true, a lot of GME people do believe that. You don't believe me? I know some of us in here, Danette is in GME, and you don't also believe us? Go and ask in GME group chats, and you'll see they won't stop making fun of Adam. But here's the thing: to a certain extent, I also agree with that as well, guys. Ryan Cohen is the single best thing that have ever happened to GameStop, and that's not just me, like liking the guy or anything. It is the truth. I mean, obviously, what that guy did by buying 100,000 shares and saying I'm putting my money where my mouth is. When are we gonna get something similar than that to that in the AMC? And our board is so busy selling shares. It's like it's kind of like they're saying the opposite message. Like, hey, we we're putting our shares where our mouth is, and we're selling all of them instead. And they're not buying. They're not buying. I mean, it's the fact and how disgusting it is. And I say this all the time. And I know many other chats, they try to speak good even when they don't believe it on something. But for me, I have no filter. If you're following this or following me, you know what you're gonna get from me. I'm gonna speak my mind regardless. And the truth of the matter is, guys, without us, there will be no AMC. I understand that some, like Pantheon, have actually made a very good case to why AMC also wouldn't coexist without other particles similar to Mudrick giving out the bailout in the pandemic period. But here's the thing: all that would not matter if we didn't become the most important and the biggest part of the puzzle, which is us. Without us, it wouldn't continue. Forget Mudrick giving them some shares, but buying shares, and basically in return they got a huge amount that could be convertible. Well, we didn't get any of these. We just simply came in. It's kind of like we're the friend that is your real good friend, your true friend that wants to help you without any benefits in return, And that's true. We don't want any benefits. We succeed as the stock succeeds. The higher the stock goes, the better the more that we're happy, obviously, in that case. And AMC, no matter who it is that comes out here to talk to you guys, AMC would have zero existence in our existence today if it wasn't for us coming in to save the day and save the company. And the fact that the board members, and this is where I'm leading to, the board member was so busy selling shares throughout 2021, and he was timely chosen too. A lot of people are not paying attention to that. But it's okay, maybe because they got into play much later, but I've seen it. It's always that they drop shares or sell shares when it's at a most crucial moment for an AMC move on the high up or to move up. And they utilize that to their advantage. Clearly, a lot of them are in on the other side, and the rest, and they're contacting each other, and they're kind of getting to them. It's like, hey, we're dry on real shares. We can't just continue to go back to the DTCC and get some shares and make synthetics out of them. No, we need real shares. So can any of you come out and hit two birds with one stone so that we can make articles about it and the media can hear us talk about insider sale article, insider sales, and that's all you hear. You don't hear that in GME, and I'm not like comparing like as far as AMC is not as good as GME or GME is better than AMC. As far as ticker symbols, they both mean the same to me. But I'm speaking about the fact that look at this company as far as GME and look at what its board is doing for it. And look at AMC and look what its board is doing to it. I understand that they were in a position where they couldn't do much, but that's not the case anymore. The allegiance for that board should single-handedly be its investors. I don't care what else anybody else has. I know he's not our CEO, he's the CEO of a company, but no, truthfully, he is the CEO that we have chosen. We have the power of getting rid of the CEO if we want to go ahead and create a vote and all that stuff and go through it. But in the same time, we don't, all we really mainly want here is our squeeze to be squozen. And seeing all those insider sales, those vice whatever chairman and presidents and this person, if as far as I see it, if we didn't come in the picture, none of them will be able to sell anything because the company would have been bankrupt. All these shares that they have sold, whether for $20 or $30 or $40, do you know what they sold it for? They sold it with the idea of, oh my God, I was thinking that all this was zero. Like those shares were technically worth nothing. But the fact that they saw, obviously, what happened, it became more like a miracle to them. And instead of them honoring what we just offered them or given them, instead they dumped it all on our face because they have no sympathy for you or me. They don't give a shit about us. They're not dining or whining with me and you. They're dining and whining with those hedges, those hedge funds. Those guys are all in the same country club. I've said that many times for you guys. Obviously, we don't have pictures to show proof, and neither is that important. But if you had to make a wild guess, you would know that these guys care more about those kind of individuals before they care about individuals like you and I. They just see us as a transaction, and without us, they wouldn't have a single dollar in any of those bonuses or those shares that they have gotten. Sorry I had to come out and put this guys out there, but it's the truth. Like, it is the truth. Why AMC is so low? Yeah, exactly, right? It's like someone is prompting someone to go ahead and do it. Like, hey, you want to screw this stock over? Go for it. Don't worry, we'll drop the interest rate for you. Don't worry, guys. That's not going to be forever. Hopefully our gold mine is something. Yes, hopefully it is something. It is going to be something down the line, Pabloco. You'll see. That billionaire that got in on that deal with us, Sprout, he does it. He's not in the habit of getting in so that he can waste some money or some millions here and there. This guy knows what he's doing. That is his market as well, what he specializes in. So don't worry, from that regard, we're in good hands, unless some backdoor deal is being manufactured as we speak, and we get screwed on that part. That's it. But besides that, there is something good that's going to come out of that, especially with that guy on the play. I said just at the net, I think hedges are still trying to recover from the past 2 days of news on GME by aggressively shorting, and prime brokers have them by the balls, but who knows? I could be wrong. Yeah, Assiduous has literally said it too. It's all that above. The fact that they obviously Thursday is always the day that we call the like when you expect if they didn't hurt the stock in the beginning of the week, always keep it in the back of your head that the most of the time when they attack a stock, if they don't attack it in the beginning of the week, it's always by Thursday. Friday is always a walkthrough. It's not the day that they bring you down. They obviously, that doesn't mean that it's always a climbing day, but no, normally on Fridays, they like to come in the office, do light work, it's kind of like a workout, light leg day or light workout. just moves here and there, and then load some positions for the following week so that they can have it at a good point. Now, with this and what's happening, it looks like they have to prepare heavily for a marijuana sector that is already moving now. The other sectors moved up already, including GME and AMC, and they've held their levels relatively strong. I want to say they didn't drop much. They're just consolidating. That's with all the attacks and ladder attacks they had today. Um, we're all gonna go back to one thing, guys. Remember this. I do, as I said to you guys, the whole makeover is through this whole dark pool thing. You know, the biggest theory that I have on this whole play and this whole saga is the dark pool. And the dark pool, and I explained in there how the broker goes to the market maker and he makes money by getting payment for order flow orders for him. The market maker makes money by getting all these stocks. It's in his best interest that all that does not go to the lit market, because then the price will surge. Then he will get burnt on the books and he becomes broke. No more Mr. Kin. It'll be Kin homeless, not Kin the billionaire. Then he makes money and benefits a lot from the price not moving up, and he makes money by all the orders coming to him. That's why he's willing to pay these little brokers payment for order flow fees so that they can give him the orders. Now, the Kenny takes that, goes to these banks or big financial institutions, and if not himself even, and he goes to them and say, now I need money, and these are the assets I'm giving you in collateral. Now, majority of them can be synthetics, but the banks are saying, I can't hold this for a long time because whatever collateral you're giving me, it's not real. So at any given time, it could go away. The only way I could help you, and I guarantee you that all this talk was made in that weekend when the buy button was taken away in 2021 of January of 2021. They came up with that idea of then reaching out to the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve makes money as well and is happy to do so because the whole debt is not sitting with them for over 24 hours. So it's always easy for all parties to get rid of the evidence since it's a 24-hour period between repo and reverse repo. And by then, whatever was here can be here, and whatever was here can be there. Who knows? Obviously, until the April 18th, we have those regulations that some of you have went and commented on, which I highly thank for doing so, like I did as well, because when you make those comments, they understand, and it increases our chances of having more, of course, people on that hype train to get that fixed. The most important thing that has to be fixed, as you guys can see, everything is working great for us, right? But how can I tell you that even with the run-ups that we had yesterday and the day before yesterday, could you believe that the dark pool was running all this manipulation while we were doing all that we were doing yesterday? Could you imagine where we would have our initial run-up yesterday and the day before yesterday? Do you know where they would have went, or where they have would let us, had it been for the dark pool manipulation that is coexistence? And that's why I think the true squeeze and the actual squeeze will occur when that is dealt with, when the SEC would have all the right to jump in and say, hey, what are you doing in here in this such and such dark pool? They're going to come back and say, oh, no, we're just trading government securities here, nothing market related. And guess what? The SEC by then, if that rule is approved, will say, okay, send me all those reports. They can't lie about it, and they can't, fuck with it because, sorry for my French, guys, again, because this is a very important subject. It's the essence of everything that we're talking about, that we're dealing with. And when they see those papers, they can't just manipulate that. The reason why they can manipulate so many things right now is because no one and none of the ones outside can hurt their scheme. You can stop payment for order flow as much as you want. He don't give two craps about it. He even mentioned it. Kenny himself mentioned it from before. I've said it plenty of times. That is or was a little problem in our way, but that problem is nothing, because it is nothing compared to the main source of all the problems, which is the fact that they're able to hide, get money, and send away and hide our synthetics and our positions in index funds and somehow be able to reach the feds to get money so that they can come back and attack us. And obviously, with the Fed having a very short, a very small interest fee, all they have to do is return it back with 0.5%. And I believe it was anywhere between 0.3 to 3.3%. And it varies, but majority of the time it's less than 0.5%. So if you want to tell me that Ken can on a daily base borrow up to 150, 200 billion dollars, and because if he's considered just one counterparty, and he can get 100 billion or whatever based on the assets that he has, do you think that that cash on a daily base that he can borrow, don't you think, look at this now, he just applied for this, just put one and one together, he borrowed that 100 billion and he has to return it by the next day. He got that money. What do you think he's doing for it with it today? Why do you think you see those random little unknown stocks that such and such, like Zinnia Pharmaceuticals or whatnot? Why do you think those random stocks, you just see random 200% rise, especially in the pre-market, when it's like, and you look at the volume and it's only like 1,300, and you're like, this just went up just one shot 200%. Makes no sense, right? Well, that's why, because you got one big injection of a huge capital that someone just got, that they have to dump really soon as well, so they can get that money back, so that they can go ahead and see what they made as profit. They keep that, and then the rest they go ahead and take and pay it back to the financial institution if they got it through a bank, from the Fed, or straight to the Fed, and just pay the interest fee on it, which again, if it's just 0.5% or 3%, whatever the case may be, like 0.3 to 0.5%, that's nothing. Like, let's apply this to ourselves, guys. Look how simple and beautiful this is. If you have, let's say you're the Federal Reserve and I am Citadel, and I need a loan for cash so I can do my manipulation and all that stuff. You're willing to give me up to 100 billion, let's say, in today, but I have to bring it back tomorrow, and you're okay with that, and I can just give you some, my index funds, my bonds, my all that perhaps could have or all be consisted of synthetic shares from AMC and GameStop and meme stocks. So let's put it that way. You gave me the 100 billion. Now I have huge amount of money that I can go, and this is why you see very volatile market. That's why for me, I have one day to return this, and I have to return it with a 0.3 or 0.5% interest. So if I put 100 billion in one or two or three stocks, or I scatter them around, and then I have to cash them out by the next day before 1 o'clock or 12:30 in the afternoon of the next day, of the next business day. Well, if I take a big position, 100 billion I have, and then let's say I saw it spike up because of what me putting it into it, and it spiked up, let's say 8%, 9%, I'm already guaranteed to cash out, personally have to pay back 0.5% out of those profits to the loaner, the initial loaner, which is the feds, and the rest, which is another 7.5%, is all profit for me. So I keep 7.5%, and I pay back the Federal Reserve their 100 billion with 0.5% on top of that. So they're happy, I'm happy, I made more money. They still made money. They didn't have to do anything. They didn't take on the risk, but they're willing to do that so that they can make more money, while obviously we're all sitting here waiting. Win Lambo, win Squeeze, win Moon. So I hope I broke it down simple enough, or as much to make sense to everyone. Again, if you made a profit of 4% of 1 billion, what is that? $40 million? Yeah, I think that's $40 million. No, is it 40 million? Yeah, it's $40 million. Hopefully I'm not wrong on my math, so that not everybody starts ripping me apart now. But if you're making 40 million, and that's clear, and the money is not even yours, you borrowed it in one day, of course you're going to be ready to buy teams in Europe. Of course you're going to have money to buy to suppress a price of a stock on any given day because you're getting what you need. And look at sndl and tlry, another 10% in the after hours, guys. I am pumped, and ACB is also pumping with them. Sorry. Hopefully, like I said, I broke that down enough to the point where everyone in here has seen it. Like I said, I wish that there was hundreds of others, more people, even thousands of other people to see this concept, because no one is speaking obviously on this, because this concept, I personally have come up with it. Hopefully no other YouTuber can come out and make a challenge out of it now. Let's see. Yes, Dinette. Sorry, I'm going back up in the comment section, and yes, they are. If you're asking like where are they getting the shares from, insiders, or do they think they are using repo market to obtain shares? Well, they're using the repo and reverse repo market for to gain money, and they also get back their same positions, their dump that they're trying to use as collateral to get that money. So they use that for money. The insiders sell their shares, and in the same time, they keep going back to the DTC. Remember, DTCC is the reservoir for all the bank of all shares, basically. So they go back in there, and it's like a cycle. They pick a share, they go and do what they need to it to do with it to it, then they shred it and kind of make it into a synthetic, then reach back and give it back to the DTCC, but then they take the same share back again, and it's just a cycle over and over and over and over again. A person who made a good video on that was just on particularly that topic was the Lion Trader. I remember he made a very good like breaking, like giving you the picture and the image of the DTC and how it goes from the DTC to the market maker, from that to the broker, and how from the broker to the retailer, and it resells back on over and over again. AB, the reasons why we're here. I'm here for the emotional mind games, and I got to tell you, I'm getting my money's worth from Kenny. Okay, that's good. I think their share reward policy needs to be reworked. We need to have better representation on the board. 100%, brother. 100%. Our board is nothing compared to GameStop's. Let me make my clear. You could think the opposite, or you could think different, guys. It's absolutely okay. It's two different opinions, many different opinions. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I personally think if we had GameStop's board, that AMC would not be played with the way that it is played with right now. Not that that makes a difference right now. It's just a side thought. Okay. There's a good interview with Sprout addressing short sellers. Okay. Good one, Pabloco. I'll probably go out there to look for it. Not sure. I just got an alert from Bloomberg saying that CGS. Oh, okay, about the Russian market selling crypto. Well, they're sitting on a lot of crypto themselves as well. They've been gathering a lot of crypto. I think it's very important for them to do so because they know that that's where we're heading for in the future. So having as much is good. Dinet said, "How could you bet against Ryan Cohen? The guy is passionate at what he does. His game plan is growth and scale. And yes, look what he did with Chewy, and look now what he's doing with GameStop. You guys know how much money to buy 100,000 shares of GameStop? Not only is he putting his money where his mouth is, but his money is, damn, where his money." I think Ryan Cohen could possibly have been forced to buy those shares to cover up what's about to happen. I don't think there's anything to cover, and he wouldn't be forced to do so. I mean, at the end of the day, if all this gets out to the media and it's known that they, been creating synthetic shares, even though we all know it, but legitimately proven and officially proven, it wouldn't be Ryan Cohen's end that will hurt from it. He don't care. I mean, in fact, he would love to have that happening so that they can have a laugh at it future. Um, and these guys are the same people that are trying to suppress their company or bankrupt their company. So he would be in love with that idea. On the contrary, with our AMC, I feel like our AMC board is like everyone. I mean, especially starting even with Adam Aaron, the fact that he lied before and said that he have never even spoken to Ken Griffin. And I remember back in 2021, reports came out that he's on the same board with that's for like he was a mentor or an advisor to another company, and he was on that board of advisory list. And the fact that Ken Griffin is in there as well, but he said on a separate occasion that he'd never met the guy or talked to him. Obviously that was a lie. It's just there's a lot of things that are covered up with AMC. Like you just can't tell what are their intentions. It's almost like we are the crowd that are fighting. Like in AMC, we're fighting the hedges, we're fighting our board, we're fighting the whole world, we're fighting the feds, we're fighting everyone to get our share, fair share of this market. And where same thing applies for GameStop, but the only difference there is that at least the fans got the board on their side. That's one thing they can say 100% about GameStop. No one can come out and say GameStop's board don't have GameStop's best interest in mind when they do whatever they got to do. You know what I'm saying? Where a lot of people can make some compelling arguments on the contrary for AMC. That the AMC's board do not have AMC's investors' best interest in mind. They can make logical arguments about that, but you can't make any logical one in the case of GameStop. Let's see. Radwan, a general question. If you don't mind, do you think Lux Algo is accurate and will it eliminate the need to learn TA? Okay, so Lux Algo, I believe, is one of those other programs because there's Ortex and all that stuff. As far as the Lux Algo, none of these is accurate as far as 100%. Just so I can keep it straightforward with you, brother. Uh, they're very accurate as far as like as close as accurate as possible because they see the numbers, and obviously a machine is just counts much faster than us as human, so it's just for buy points and sell points. So it is great for someone who's just a scalper, not a squeeze play player, because here's the thing: when you make a position, let's say an AMC or a GameStop or any of these meme stocks, you're having in mind that you're going in to make life changing money out of this play. So in a way, Lux Algo won't help you much because every day you're going to see buy points and you see sell points. So the person that gets or follows the Lux Algo will be the person that is looking to look for buy-in points and selling points. And that's what it mainly can be really beneficial to you in. So yeah, as far as does it help with learning a lot or the need to learn a lot of TA? Of course it does, because it's doing basically, that's the point of it, is doing all the TA for you, especially when you're looking for buying points and selling points. Um, but as far as it being 100% accurate, of course not. Nothing is always 100%. But for the most part, it does give you a perfect time to buy and a perfect time to sell based on the moving averages throughout the day, whether it's on the minute scale or the last 5 minute scale, 10 minute, 1 hour, uh, you know 3 hours, a whole day frame. So there's a lot of technicals that you could break, but that algo can easily get you a great buying point and great selling point. So if you want to change all your mindset about investing and you just want to focus on making profits on a daily base, like some scalpers or traders will come in with the mindset of I just want to do that, the algo part, where it tells them buy now, they buy, and when it tells them sell, even if it's 10 cents later, they will sell. But to them, all they care about is gradual gain on a daily base. And that's why they charge for these algos, because they know that people who follow that with that mindset will go ahead and eventually keep raising their portfolio to the next level. Hopefully that explains it, brother Ridwan, and hopefully I didn't bore all of you guys with that. Again, guys, I give each one or each question, I approach it with the fact that nothing is too small to ask or nothing is too big to understand. You know what I'm saying? So I try to break it down as much as possible, because everyone is at a different level and everyone wants to know something different. And who knows, this could be the single difference that this part of the extra 30 seconds or minute of explaining something that could go a long way with someone else. So that's what matters to me the most, even if it bores the majority of the other people. Let's see. The net after hour in GME. Oh, it got taken away. Sorry. I think you took it away, didn't you? Do you have MMAT? I played MMAT a few times in the past year, Danette, but I don't hold a constant position in it. The most that I'm high on, that I'm holding and I just keep accumulating on, are and this is just me not advising anyone to get into these plays, guys. I'm just trying to, say my opinion or my plays. The ones that I'm accumulating on and not selling out of are AMC, GME, koss, tlry, sndl, and a little bit of spce. So let's see how that goes. Bed Bath and Beyond, I have a small position in. But again, that's just where I spread majority of my stuff like that I'm really serious on and I'm holding long term. The rest are all jump in and out plays, and kind of going with the trend on those. GME is still sitting at 22% borrow rate. Not usual, but pretty nutty, since we did see these type of rates since January 2021. Yeah, again, like I told you, Assiduous, the good thing about that also, what's making that more disgusting is the fact that they're already screwed as far as this week. As far as I see it, as long as we close anywhere above the $140, I can tell you that from now. Obviously, tomorrow I will make the very final valid version of what I want to talk about, the Max Payne video. I always like to make it come out on sometime before the market closes on Friday. But I would say that if we continue to hold this $140 level, man, they're screwed for next week. And it's not going to be anything like this week. It's going to be much worse, like as far as for them, how far it could go. And we can see. And as far as for AMC, I made it very clear that $20 level is the most important level. Whoever is saying 22 and is putting it out there to people and all that stuff, they're not being very accurate. They're just throwing a number. They just want to see, and here's one thing they could be saying, or they could be overlooking the fact that they don't want to give you all this explanation. They're just giving you the number. And the reason why it's important for the 22, because obviously you get the 20, which is the most important, and you get the 21, and you get the 20 and a half, and you get the 21 and a half, all in the money by having it above 22. So that's an easy saying, but it's not an explanation, So a lot of you could easily still be wondering, like, why 22, and some people did ask it in this chat, and a lot of people are asking it in many other chats. So that's the case. But look at the fact that how screwed they are, how AMC, even with all the dark pool manipulation that is happening, we still rise to those levels. That's the amazing part. And I'm glad also that I did not YOLO in at this throughout this whole week of jumping more into AMC or GameStop as of yet, because I told you guys before, what is the most two important things to me to know that any of our short squeezes are um, like that what's the signal that we get for me that verifies that this is indeed the beginning of the run up is I told you guys I need two sessions that are 30% or higher, or one gigantic session of 80% or 60%, and then the next day followed up by another 15, 20, something like that. But the minimum I would accept is 30%, two separate sessions, because those levels will ultimately lead you to 60%. Is only an addition of $6 to $7 on the price of the ticker symbol. But the reason why it's very crucial is because when they attack it, by Thursday or Friday, you can tackle down with a lot of work. You've seen they worked really hard today just to drop us $2. Um, and that was like a great feat for them. Imagine if they had to drop the price down $6, $7 in one trading session. That's unheard of. That's how many uh, suspensions and halts would occur, because it's even on the drop. Obviously, there is halts that are implemented into the system. So it's that difficult, and it's going to require so much more money to try to do so. So far I'm on the fences still. As I said, I'm holding on to what I need. And the better part about my strategy of the 30% and another 30% is, yes, it does make the price higher. So even when I jump in, I'm buying at a more expensive rate, because some people will say, well, you could have bought in at a cheaper one. Well, here's the thing. I don't want to put all my liquid cash and strap it up in something unless it is the run up, so that I can make it liquid again and grow it. Because if it's not the run up and I jump all in, even if it's a smaller or lesser uh, average point, but now I'm strapped, I'm all in, I FOMO'd in, and I have to wait for my fate to come. So I can't make side plays until this happens. And I'm never going to put myself in a position where I have to sell any of my AMC or my GameStop shares to go ahead and make money on the side in the market, throughout the market. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I wait for those 30%, another 30% on two separate sessions, so that I can verify this is the run up indeed. So I can be walking in and going in on a much more solid standing. You see what I'm saying, guys? So that's me. I like to play it as safe as possible, but in the same time, you still got to take risks. So I don't mind taking the risk and do what I got to do. But is this it? Because if it's not it, then I have another place that I can make a lot more money on. With this money, I can capitalize on it throughout the rest of the market instead of having to park them in these plays. You see, that's where my theory and my ideology comes into why I want those 30% movements to come, because back to back, because that gives me that indication. I'm 100% now more comfortable that this is the run up. So whatever I'm putting my money is not going to stay there for long, because this is going to be a matter of a week or two. I don't need to put my money anywhere else, so I'm good. Um, and I'm safe. Yeah, I don't care. I'm buying in at a price that is about 60% higher, or 60, 70% higher than what I could have bought it at. But one, I'm buying peace of mind. I know that this is it. I'm prepared. And on top of that, 60%, which is $5, $6, $7 difference on the price of each share, is nothing compared to what I'm gonna sell them for. So when you're selling your shares in a 4 digits range, will you care about a $5, $6 difference at the beginning? No. But again, I want to make sure that this is the run before I park all that money in it, the extra money I have on the side. Hopefully that makes any sense, guys, because I know a lot of people have different motives, but sometimes the train thought of someone might not make sense to you until they break it down to what they get out of that. And this is what I get out of what I do and why I do it the way I do it, Peter Jefferson, what do I think AMC will end with tomorrow? A high and low guess. Okay, so that will be good for tomorrow's video, but I will give you this. We'll go ahead and make a guess here. Just a guess, not a guest, a guess. Let me look. Where are we at? Okay, 2023. They don't want S. So as far as a high, and you might think that, I'm crazy for saying this, but I promise I'm not. 1 second. As far as that, we have all the way. Believe it or not, we have above the 25 to run to. And you're going to be like, wow, well, that's gonna make sure, like you're saying, we're gonna run up $5. Well, if it does tomorrow, that means it's officially the squeeze 100%. Before Monday, it follows on that trend if that was the case to happen. So the top could be 25 and above that. The lowest that we can go to. I couldn't do these parts yet, guys. Normally I do it after the market today because I had to look at all that data. But I'm giving you a quick guess. You see what I'm saying, my friend? I will never give you a no or I can't. Um, by the way, thank you, Danette, for advising me and coming on the live and saying to come on live on the power hour. It was very close to power hour, but it was within the power hour. I was driving back from the business. I'm gonna post a video on what it looks like from the inside, guys. I'll post it on the community posts or the shorts. I might make a short out of it. So we will, as far as dropping, uh, it looks like they cannot let it drop. It's not. It's very not clear here, but it looks like to me they cannot let it drop underneath $18. Um, Underneath $18, these guys will be avoiding a major, you know, a major hit uh, on the price going up. But they will, by dropping it underneath $18, they will also take a major hit on the price going down that much, and that's because of the option chain as well, not just you know the reason why. I mean, some of you will ask, like, well, wouldn't they be happy if the price goes to zero or drops? Well, not in some cases, because this is where and how the option chain can influence the price of a stock. Only in this demeanor. Let's see. Uh, Redwan's great answers, bro. What is your favorite strategy for day trading? 13 out of 48, or using the VWAP. See, here's the thing, Radwan. My favorite is, I always look, I don't even follow majority of these things. I always see the trends in the stock, and I see that normally most of the stocks are moving with the market. So the trend is across the board majority of the times, especially if it's not that way sometimes, it's throughout the whole sector. So as you can see now, the whole marijuana sector is moving, right? So if I get that confirmation from right there, this is if you even want to be more safe. If I get the confirmation that this sector is moving as a whole, that means there's room for some profits. And how that happens is, I'll wait for it. I see it make its initial first pop. And when I see it drop, and here's where the VWAP comes in. Below the VWAP, you have at that point, if the VWAP obviously is higher than where the price is at that point, and I did see the trend in that whole sector, just in a whole, then I'll wait for it to drop underneath the VWAP, see it drop even more. And when I get that first indication on the chart that it is breaking that consolidation, and a lot of it has to do with seeing lower lows, and I'm sorry, higher highs and higher lows, that's an indication for you, or for me in this case, to tell you that the price is on the move up. So if I got in at that point, I'm gonna wait only wherever my level is, where I want to collect profits and where do I want to cash out, and then I'll do my thing. That's just one of the ways I make a lot of money also sometimes. And when I say, don't get me wrong when I say a lot of money, but this is just me speaking. I make a lot of money on crypto as well, because crypto is so easy to see the trend in, because it's a whole group. When Bitcoin is up, the rest is up. You see, look at, for example, ADA right now. Cardano. Just in the beginning of this week, it was somewhere south of 70 cents, 75 cents. And by now, it's like in the 80, 90 to a dollar cent, to a 95 cent range to a dollar. It probably broke the dollar as we speak. And even that is still low for it because, you know, it's seen $2, it's seen $4 at some point in the past. And that's, and its true potential is so much higher. So what I do is with the crypto, so easy. You see the trend going up. You see the trend when it goes down on all the cryptos on a weekly basis. So you could easily dump into that and sell out of that. You just want to make sure that you're not, on those plays for a prolonged time, because there's something about cryptos. They make you fall. Sorry, okay, I'm back. Well, it looks like I gotta go, guys. We did a 2-hour live here. I'm getting a friend from one of my friends. He's calling like, "Hey, where you at? Come on. You promised you're gonna be here today." So I have to go. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. We're gonna have a very nice live, hopefully tomorrow. I'll see around what time. It's probably gonna be around the same time, maybe anywhere from that 12 to 3 time frame. Hopefully it'll be good. And we'll talk more in depth if you have more questions, guys. Sorry to cutting it a little short than normally what we're used to. But again, I'll be back. Maybe tonight I'll make a video or go do a quick live maybe just to cover up the end of these, the after hours. But beside that, thank you so much, guys, for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for coming in with your amazing questions as well. And please spread the word so we can get more and more people on here. And hopefully we all succeed together. Much love, AB Investments.